are incredible lions, so whilst Byron thinks of his tip of the day, which perhaps, I don't know, I'm not going to give him a hint as to what his tip of the day should be. He's very good at thinking them up for himself. We've arrived at the Nkuhumas. They've been playing with each other, and they are now on the move along the main boundary between Djuma and Simbambili. If they go left, they will go into Simbambili. If they go right, they will go into Djuma. Which way are the Nkuhumas going to decide to go? I'm just going to tone down my lights ever so slightly. Oh, you know what I've done, Craig? Oh, I've driven through lion scat. Oh, it's smelly. It is so smelly. Look at this gorgeous family in front of us. And at the moment, they're like the normal Nkuhumas that we've always known. It seems as though they've gained confidence as it's got darker. And they are skipping along and playing in the middle of the road. Whew, that's quite pungent. There we go. There goes our pride of lions. You will notice there's another vehicle in the sighting. They've joined us and they've come to enjoy the lions as well. And I just do need to speak, sorry, I haven't had the opportunity to do so yet, but I do need to speak on the game drive radio ever so quickly, if I can disentangle myself from everything else and try and turn it down. There's one lioness straggling along behind. I think let's go and catch up with the rest of the pride. I can't quite get past until this lioness decides to move. That's going to be the trick. I'm glad we came here. It's so wonderful to spend time with the Nkuhumas again. Alright, girl, I'll stop here. Sorry, this lioness won't let me sidle past her without being nervous. Now, Lionheart, you want to know which one is the floppy-eared cub. Is it not the one on the left, the far left? If I remember correctly, the floppy-eared cub was the tiniest of all of the cubs. And I think that was that one over there. And I'm pretty sure that that one on the right is might actually be the male cub. He just looks that much larger than the others. It's hard to tell, though. Obviously, it is very, very dark. And I'm going to try and spotlight them just to illuminate a little bit. There we go. We're just thinking, I think we should... the problem with that, we're going to go infrared, but there is obviously the other vehicle with the spotlight. Let's just wait until this other lioness gets up and goes to catch up with the rest of her pride. And then we'll be able to catch up with them. She's just right here on the side of the road. And if I try and sidle past her, I mean, obviously my great big head's in the way. I think I'm going to make her very nervous if I try and sidle past her now. So I'm just going to let her wait a second and get ready to move. The pride's all settled down in the middle of the road. Isn't that stunning? Come on, girlie. We'd like to squeeze past if that would be okay. I'm just trying to disentangle my game drive radio, sorry. It's caught on my binoculars and this is not working out so well for me. Cables everywhere. There we go. Let me just illuminate her a little bit. If any station can copy me, the Nkuhumas are mobile north on Triple M, north of Simbambili Arathusa cut line. There are 2 northern stations here. Sorry everybody. Getting my head in the way. It's a bit tricky when she's so close to us. I wonder if we can squeeze past her. No, I think we can wait patiently and then we'll switch to infrared once we get closer. can hear her breathing next to me. Oh, tackled. Grabbing Mum. Imagine this experience for the guests in the vehicle. Imagine what this must be like. This is your first time that you've ever seen a lion. And you've got them right here. There we go. I'll light her up. You've got them right next to the vehicle. A whole pride of them. Cubs playing. Lionesses tensed and coiled, looking at each other. Planning for their night ahead, I imagine. 1, 2. No, there's definitely only 4 lionesses here. I was just doing another head count in case. Okay, my girl, I'm going to try and sneak past you. Perhaps we'll try on that side of the road rather than on the road itself. Let's try and get past her, then we'll be in a good position to see her. Bet you it's Amber Eyes, straggling. Now, Oya, there's a very, very good question, and I apologize. I should actually have explained. Of course, she's up now. I should actually have explained this almost immediately. You want to know if the light doesn't disturb them. The answer is no, but we are very careful about the way in which we do it. So they have, lions, or all nocturnal animals, have a reflective layer at the back of their eyes, known as the tapetum lucidum, and it's particularly well developed in our nocturnal animals. A lot of animals have it, but it's particularly well developed, and what it does is it basically reflects the light rays back so that it doesn't in any way impact their vision. So it's not in any way, sorry, I'll just go a bit slowly so that I don't disturb her. It's not in any way dazzling them in the way that it might a human being. And you'll see that, didn't you see the way that the eyes shone back at us when we shone the spotlight? If you shine a light on a human being's eyes, that will not happen. But it does happen with these guys. And that's the way in which they cope with it. However, we don't shine the light straight into their eyes. Girl, there we go. We bounce it off the ground next to them. So with the spotlight, which is quite an intense light, we've got nice diffused light on the side of the vehicle, but with our spotlight, you'll see how I put the spotlight down below her and basically bounce it up onto her so that you can see her illuminated in that way. If these lions started to hunt, then we would switch off all of our lights, and we are actually ultimately going to do that in a few minutes because these lions are going to start hunting. So we'll switch to infrared and we will watch them hunting without any spotlights. And that's because in that situation, absolutely, we could disturb them. 1, we could give away their position to the antelope or whatever else they're hunting. And 2, the other thing that we could do is potentially dazzle the antelope. And what that will mean, if we did that, is that the poor antelope would be almost completely blind. There we go. So now we've got the opportunity. Let us take off our spotlight, and we're a bit closer. We can switch. Look at that change. Cheers, guys. Enjoy. Oh, you're staying? Oh, I thought you were disappearing. Look at the backs of their ears. How clearly that dark shows up. Oh, there we go. Standing by. That's affirmative. I'm not sure. They're right in the middle of the road for now, looking north. There we go. Look at that. This is the amazing thing about infrared, is that it really truly allows us a vision that we might not otherwise be able to have. And you can see that there's another vehicle approaching. I actually think that that is a civilian vehicle. I don't think it's a game drive vehicle. Craig, shall we try get just a little bit closer to them? Here we go. Let's just squeeze in here. There we go. That's about as close as I can go without the cubs being disturbed. Now, Davina, you want to know if the cubs are old enough to join in the hunt yet. And Davina, the answer is they are, but usually only in a way that messes it up. So we had that amazing sighting with Taylor months ago where the cubs were, and it's actually quite a horrible sighting to witness in a way. The cubs were practicing their skills on a buffalo calf that their mothers had caught. And they clearly didn't know what they were doing, but the instinct was there to jump on the back of the prey. And they were basically practicing. And they had the perfect opportunity to do so, because a buffalo calf is obviously not nearly as strong as one of those big old buffalo bulls. But they're still not yet big enough or strong enough to participate properly in a hunt. However, over the next year or so, their poor, very patient mothers are going to have to put up with the cubs constantly trying to practice their hunting skills and constantly trying to help. And in that way, they'll actually end up messing up several of the lioness's hunting attempts. Standing by? Sorry, everybody. There's 2 of us here from the north. I haven't heard any other vehicles actually wanting to make their way. Now, AFM, welcome. Sorry, everybody. It's always a tricky experience with lions on a boundary that everybody wants to try and come and see them. And where I have to juggle different radio channels. So while I do that, looks as though our lionesses are going on to Djuma. It seems as though you were watching this in green. Let's go and have a look at something else green. I'm very sorry, everybody. I'm right in the middle of a conversation. Now, come along WildEarthTV access towards the gate, or if you're on Buffels or Cut Line, come down along WildEarthTV access and just see whether or not you pick up on any sign of them or fuzzies there. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, everybody. I'm just busy chatting to some of the other guides because the adult lionesses have actually moved off. They've moved off towards a little bit further to the east. And the cubs are all alone for now, waiting to see what the females do. And I'd love to get to where the females disappeared, but I can't because the cubs are all in the middle of the road, so we just have to wait patiently. There we go. Everybody up and moving back towards catching up with the females. And I'm tossing up in my head, trying to follow them or trying to loop around. I know this area, it's a very, very tricky area. I can hear the lionesses calling to them. Okay, let's catch up with them. This is always an exciting experience in the dark, because you never know what those lions are going to get up to. Sorry, everybody, watch out. Alright, I'm just going to stop here and let one of the other vehicles come past. No problem. How's it? Cheers, guys. Right, shall we try this, everybody? Let's try it. Oh goodness, this is a bad idea. I think this is a bad idea. I think it's too thick, unfortunately. Robbie, you want to know if all of the lions have black on the backs of their ears? Robbie, yes they do. They absolutely do. And one of the big reasons put forward to them having the black on the backs of their ears is... Sorry, I'm just going to chat to Ralph. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay, bye-bye. Is one of the reasons that people think that they have the blacks on the backs of their ears is because black is a color that stands out very clearly in the bush. And so, what that means is that in terms of visual communication, the most important body parts on an animal, their ears and their tails and their facial features. So by highlighting the ears in black, it makes it very, very easy for other animals to actually be able to see what that animal is saying or what that animal is thinking or doing with its ears. One of the other explanations, which is along a similar line, is that lions actually use that to coordinate their hunts more than we realize. So essentially, I'm going to have to let this other vehicle come past, I'm sorry. Oh, they're still quite far. I'm going to race them to the power lines. This poor civilian vehicle's been sitting waiting for ages, but I'm in a hurry now.